cupboard door because that's important in any
I have got a
interview scenario.
splendid view of your cupboard door, and the light is shining on it, which means like it's some gateway to heaven.
Yeah,
I could,
I'll go with that.
yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We are in the presence of the Almighty, as you can see by the glow in his room. Mr. Peter Damien Clegg from the band Ghosts of Men and various other musical excursions throughout the decades.
All right, mate. How you doing?
I am not bad, old bean. How are you?
All right, really warm. Very, very tired. Unnaturally tired. Yeah, but very good.
Why is this?
Well, what happened? I went to work a lot, did a whole run of workings,
Yeah.
and then I did a load of getting up in the mornings to take my daughter to go and do some work experience in the studio. And then on my day offings, which was today, I got woken up from the workings to say, hey, do you want to come into workings? I said, I don't want to come into the workings, but it was too late. I was awake. And now I'm very tired.
Bollocks.
Well, we'll live.
Oh, well, I'm sure we can fill your tiredness with 10 ton of bullshit. That's generally how we roll.
Okay, good. Yeah, got it.
Excellent. So, what
Hello? Hello? Sorry. Just enjoyed doing that with headphones on. Hello? 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 Yes.
So, what have you been doing? I haven't seen you for... It's been quite a while, hasn't it?
Bloody ages. Mate. A long while. You look exactly the same as if you are some sort of computer graphic. I've become a greater mass.
But is that, I think all that you've done, you've just amassed
I've eaten everything.
experience, knowledge, wisdom, and sexiness. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I deep fried that and ate it. That's exactly what I did with that. I put it in a lovely pastry crust with bits of anything that's hanging around.
Wolfed it down all in one.
And now I've got ultra blonde hair as well. Ultra blonde, not grey, ultra blonde. Yeah, it's been busy, mate. Been doing lots of musics and arts and festivals and finding jobs and jaunting around the countryside and moving houses, which is quite good fun.
No, it's not fun. Don't ever do it. Ever.
Yes, I've been doing a lot of stuff, mate. Doing a lot of stuff. Having children, raising those. That's a bit exciting. So, yeah.
Parenthood. A grand excursion you would recommend to other people, or?
It's done all right for us. It's ridiculous. It's the silliest thing you can do. The silliest thing you could do. I know a few people that haven't had children and decided not to have children, and they always talk about how much of a hard time they get about having children. And one particular person, my other half sister, has decided not to have kids. And I waited until my kids were being proper children a few years ago, where they were screaming and just being little fuckers. I said, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want kids? I don't think I advertised it that well. But yes, we got kids. They're the most horrifying, weirdest bunch of cells you'll ever own.
Oh, finally someone who's honest about it.
Honestly, mate, it's an absolute wreck. It's an absolute wreck. You're shitting in the wind. At one point, my daughter, when she was about 7, she's 18 now, she actually said to me, this totally unprompted, which was unfair, just said, I'm much cleverer than you, I just don't know as much stuff.
You can't really argue with that kind of logic.
You can't. But you're thinking, why are you saying it to me? Why are you doing that? Why are you crushing me now? I'm just trying to get you from A to B safely without dying or running in the road. I'll feed you, I'll clothe you. Don't ruin me. That's harsh, isn't it?
Yeah,
Harsh,
thanks for all the hard work I've put in. You know, just rip out my heart, tread on it, eat it, sick it up, and then kick it down the road a bit more. Why don't you?
I felt like, you know, Molar Ram in the Indiana Jones film, where they're down. He's the one that pulls out the hearts and goes, yeah, that dude. Well, Pat Roach works for him, ends up dying in a mangle. And I imagine that's how Pat Roach feels all the time. And poor old Molar Ram is just saying, yeah, I'm cleverer than you. I don't do as much stuff, but I'm cleverer than you. Whoop, you have to do what I say. You're in trouble. And it's Pat Roach that gets wanged into the mangle. And that's what's going to happen to me. And my kids are going to be fine, because they're the ones that are ripping out hearts and setting them aflame. So
they shall just drain you dry and cast you aside like some used tampon.
Oh no, they don't cast you aside. They keep you going. They give you just enough life just to keep going. Just to keep going.
Just keep you just above that flat line. You're just...
Yeah, not quite dead, mate.
Oh dear. See, when people tell me stories like this, my barren testicles now, due to having the snip, I can feel them just sigh in relief, knowing that they did the right thing.
Oh, they did. They should be applauding themselves, just going, "Yeah, cool, nice one."
They would normally, but it hurts too much.
Look around to where you are now. You've got loads of nice things. Notice how you have nice things. I don't have nice things. I have no nice things. I have kids instead. Are things that used to be nice things.
I say, okay, here's a question for you before we start moving on to actually what we're going to... I don't know what we're properly going to talk about, to be honest. It's me and you. But what was the worst thing you did as a kid to your parents? Mine was put my dad's record collection on the radiator. That was the kind of shit I was.
Why did you do that? Were you doing that on purpose, or was it just a thing that you did? You didn't think about it?
I think there was a big element of curiosity was involved. But
it wasn't like a harsh thing going, "I'm getting you now, Dad."
No, it was. I was told that those magic words that you should never tell a child: "Do not touch these."
Oh.
Yeah. No, if you said play with them, do whatever you like, wear them as a hat, they would have been absolutely fine. But no, logic just said, "I can't touch these, but the radiator can." And thus they all curled.
Makes perfect sense.
I was a horrible boy.
See, when you explain it like that, it makes perfect sense. I don't know why anyone would have been annoyed at you. It's like, oh yeah, he's a very logical person. That little kid of ours, yeah.
So what about you?
Worst thing. Christ, man, there's a.
Is there a huge plethora to choose from?
Dude, there's tons of it. There's absolutely tons of it. I can't mention that one, not because it's naughty or anything, just it's to do with keys, and I'll get loads of hassle for it. I've done lots of losing of keys, crashing of cars. I used to reverse out of the house where I used to live when I was very, very little, in my mum and dad's cars, and scrape the other cars in there and just go park it back in the driveway, and just fine, absolutely fine. Didn't mind that at all. That's all cool. Me and my brother, to get rid of dog poo and rubbish and potatoes and apples and stuff, we'd stand in our back garden in Atlas Road when we were little with a tennis racket, and just fire it out across all the other houses or into the football pitch that was right next door. You'd hit these things and you'd wait for a thud or a smash and just dart inside, but then come out about a minute later. Off you go again.
Yeah. Where did you live?
Atlas Road in Earls Cove.
So for anyone whose house got covered in shit, you know where the culprit...
Oh, it got worse than that. Me and my mate Dan, I remember one day we were little, we pooed all day in this bag. Just kept pooing in a bag.
How much
Don't
poo?
know why.
How much poo can you do in a day? How many did you do?
Turns out we thought it was quite a lot. It didn't really count. We just pooed in this bag, and we got the bag out of his window, and we flung it, thinking, "Yeah, we just fired out of shit somewhere. That'd be hilarious." But remember, we were only really little kids at this point, and it went up, and it just landed on his next door neighbour's car. Just one little split out of it. I remember that. And his next door neighbour, who was standing next to the car and looking at us, really wasn't impressed and confused. So that was quite bad. My parents had to go and apologise for that, because you have to, but then you have to use the phrase, "I'm sorry, shat in a bag all day long," and then threw it at your car. And when I think about it like that, I think that's not too bad. But if my kids did that, I'd be mortified. I don't know what I'd do. I'd pretend to faint, curl up in a ball, hope it goes away, put a tarp over yourself. Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. The logic behind childish thinking is just on another level, isn't it?
My brother used to have a change pot, right? He kept all his change. Me and my brother had a very volatile relationship when we were little. And I got all the change out of the pot, and I super glued the whole lot together so it became just one solid bar. I thought, that's great. Look at this. I've made a metal bar in this room. At no point did I figure out, oh, yeah, actually, that's his money. I've just got all his money and super glued the whole lot together. I thought I was, just enjoying this big bar of money. That was quite funny.
Same as with the dad's record collection. You think, oh, wow, that looks really cool as the heat rises and they all fold up. Arseholes.
I thought I was achieving something. I wasn't achieving anything.
We're just achieving being an arsehole. That's all we ever achieved when we were young.
Really good at it. Really good at it. Massive nitwit.
So speaking of being young, when you said as a musician and a musical kind of chap, you started off young. How young are we talking?
Always into music, couldn't explain it. As far back as I can remember, I'd always listen to harmonies, beats, and the layers of music. Always hear everything in layers, and then in squares, and then in tubes. And then a bloke down in my road called Jock Eason, who's passed away, he got me really interested in music. Just had this massive epiphany when I must have been about, I don't know, 5 or 6. Because he used to play in the big bands in the war going around the place. So turn up at Dunkirk, kill a load of people in the morning, go play saxophone in the band in the evening, as you do.
Yeah.
Mainly A minor. That's what I would do after Dunkirk. Just play A minor forevermore and no other chord would exist. Just Jesus. But yeah, he got me really interested in music. And ever since that point, I've never, ever been able to escape it. Ever.
The constant, eternal trappings.
Yeah, totally. But it's kind of a blessing and a curse, because I can listen to any piece of music now, and at some point in it, I will appreciate it and I will like some part of it. But in another way, it's very, very rare that I'll find a bit of music that I don't think about, that I'm listening to, that will just take me and I'll go, oof, that's good.
You're just analysing all the time.
All the time, constantly hearing noises.
So
constantly.
Do you, obviously, with Ghosts of Men, for those...
Good band.
Yeah, amazing band. Very close to one's heart. If you've never seen them or never heard of them, go check them out. There are some links down there. I have to get my bearings. Probably under one of your arse cheeks.
I'm looking.
Have a look. See, it might
Just
be under the chair.
If I'm honest, mate, it's just a desk. I think you mislaid them, mate.
If you just do that...
Yeah, okay. Oh, sorry. There is some links on this desk. There aren't any links. I've got a phone and a glasses case. I don't know what you're talking about.
I've got a Behringer sticky label, a DI box bag,
so no
battery charger. But yeah, so no links either.
You've made up the links thing. You've totally made up the links thing then, haven't you?
Yep, I'm going to magically... There they are, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Below Clegg's mighty beard are some links, so go and check them out. So do you do all the songwriting in Ghosts of Men?
Yes, I do everything in Ghosts of Men. It's all down to me, every last bit of it. Adam does nothing. He's pretty much useless. I don't even know why he turns up.
He just turns up, smiles, looks good, smells great, and that's all that matters.
Oh, fantastic. He's got a musk like no other. Reminds me of farms. No, it's really, really collaborative. That, to me, is really important. Because I try and work with people that... Like Adam will always say that he's a drummer. He will always say that. I look at him or hear him as a creative person. So we're making noises. He needs to fill up that noise and go along the noise I'm making, or vice versa. So we'll do that with whatever is in front of him. It happens to be a drum kit every time. But I'm sure I could sit him down with a box of elastic bands, a tuna fish, and some glue guns, and he'd still make something that would fit what was happening, if that makes any sense.
If you can make that happen, I'd really, really appreciate that. I would like to see that.
I'd appreciate it. Glue gun and a tuna fish.
Yeah.
Saw them in the 70s. They were great. So it'd be... you've also got this person with a really good creative mind, and it's, to me, daft not to take on every idea that happens. So if he has an idea and he can't communicate it, let's say, because he's drumming, he goes, oh, it's a da-da-da-da, then we'll spend time and say, right, let's get that idea out and put it out, because I can turn it into a melody, if you like, because I've got an instrument there. The same as I could have a rhythm. He can turn that into a rhythm because he's got the drum kit there. And we'll work through every single idea until we get the one that we're both happy with or that really works. But songwriting-wise, sometimes I can come up with a whole song and it's done.
Yeah.
Sometimes he can turn up and just go, I've got this idea, no. I'll say, oh, so what goes on from that? And he'll do a little bit more and a little bit more. And before you know it, he's written the song, you know?
Yeah.
But it takes both of us to make it alive.
Do you find your best work comes of the collaboration? Or do you find that some of your favourite stuff has been solo written and then just introduced to the band? Because I always found when I've done songwriting, without, and a lot of people I think, when they haven't got anyone else to bounce off, it can become very stagnant. And you lose that creative spark that can only come from the input of other people. Yeah,
definitely. Well, I found working, especially with the lockdown, because we haven't been able to have a band practice or anything like that. So I picked up the old acoustic guitar and playing acoustic guitar songs, and it's all right. It's okay. It's not anything special. I can do that till the cows come home, not to any great ability. I'm not like a world-winning songwriter or anything like that, but I could do it. It's a piece of cake. I can't play a Ghost of Men song on an acoustic guitar. You need a massive imagination for that, because it's got to be loud. It's got to feel like two F-14s are taking off right in your face. You know, you've got to have someone just as nuts next to you to go, you know, have it. Otherwise, it's a bit naff. So there's been a few times where I've written the occasional tune on the guitar, like acoustic song. I've taken it off to a band practice and said, well, this is the riff I've got. And then Adam's very good at getting that riff and bending it over a sort of Ghost of Men framework, or coming up with the next step. How should we change it? How should we move it? How should we make it something else? Which is always really helpful, because I can only ever think up what I can think up.
So what, with obviously Ghost of Men being two people, what
good
are the
band?
Yep, two people. It's just so much easier. The less people, the better. But how have you found it? Not only creative wise, but have you found sort of any logistical problems with obviously only being able to have a two-piece band? Obviously, a three-piece is probably the lowest that most people would go. So you've obviously got drums, you've got vocals, you've got bass, you've got guitar. With three people, with two people, how can you sort of reconstruct that power and still have that sound and really get it out there without it sounding empty?
That's easy. All you've got to do is completely relearn how to play the guitar, the thing you've been doing for the past 20 years.
Oh, is that all?
Invest in a whole heap of technology, and then just test things out, have a really critical ear. That's all you can do, because you've still got to make a noise that's true to yourself. We figure that. I want to make a noise that I like, you know. Adam wants to make a noise that he likes, so it'd be no good me turning around saying, well, your drums need to be this, that, and the other. Yeah. I'd tell him if they sounded crap, but I wouldn't tell him how to make the noise. Do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah, it's got to be a partnership, hasn't it?
But it's the same with the guitars and the bass. The guitar gets split, so it goes into an octaver and then into a bass amp. Yeah. So that helps out a lot. But you're not left with any middle or treble, so you can't put any effects on it. It just doesn't work, which is really aggravating. And then the guitars. I bet there is a way
you could do it. There's got to be.
There's a. I can't afford the way to do it.
Oh, shit.
There's a few other things I have to buy first.
Right.
But there's a Electro Harmonix B9 pedal, and it's astonishing. And you play it, and it just sounds like a bass pedal playing along.
But couldn't you do it if you obviously if you're going into separate? Couldn't you just split the signal earlier, and then run it into two separate systems? So instead of going into like one thing and then splitting it up, actually splitting more at the source, so that you've got complete independent.
Well, no, it does. It splits at the source. It goes into an ABY pedal. The right hand signal goes straight out of that, just a guitar signal, straight into an OC3 pedal.
Yeah.
It's the actual pedal that's the problem, if you like, or the decision maker of it. Out of that pedal, the bass signal has no treble, it has no middles, it is just bass. Right. So if you add a fuzz to it or anything else, there's nothing there for it to affect.
I see.
And the annoying thing is the actual distortion on that fuzz pedal, really, really good. I started using it in the new set, for rehearsing the new set. It's beefy as heck. But because of the way it's set up, you can't just turn it on and off and still be left with a bass signal. You have to turn the whole pedal on and off, which is a bit annoying. But then the guitar signal goes out to my Vox AC30 C2 blah 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 blah, whatever it is. That sounds lovely. And I've got a big muff going into that through the auto wire, then split one into a big muff, then one into a plasma pedal into a different amplifier. But I'm on my way to getting a Vox MV50. Tiny little thing it is, tiny. But really, really loud. So it's easy to drag about, but it just beefs it up a lot, you know. Excellent. Really does. But then there's a lot of listening to frequencies and going, right, how full is it? What bits are missing? What isn't there, you know? So there's a lot of, not science behind it, but a lot of technical jiggery pokery. I've not said that for a while.
Oh, it's such a good word.
Jiggery pokery. Yeah, so that's how we do it. That's how we do it. But it's a lot of listening. Because I'm so busy with what I'm doing, sometimes it's a case of just getting Adam to say, right, that sounds too fuzzy, that's too high, that's too low, that sound has changed. But you've got to have that relationship where you trust the other person. No one's saying anything in that room just to take the mick. If there's a problem, it's because that person thinks there's a problem.
Yeah.
You check it out. You do that. So yeah, that's how we make a massive wall of sound.
So is Adam's background? Has he had sort of any sort of like engineering experience? I suppose, or has he just got a natural ear for this kind of thing? He
is the owner and CEO. That sounds good. Of Cram Duplication.
Amazing people, extremely good people.
Yeah, very good. You want stuff duplicated and CDs, you go and see him. If you don't, you're an idiot.
Fucking right.
Cram Duplication. Yeah, so he's listened to so much music of every single style that has been mastered in every way, mixed in every way, done right, wrong,
Yeah.
So he's got such a wealth that is sitting there. So he can actually listen to our sound and get it, or advise on how to get it, pretty much how the compact disc is going to be, or MP3 for the youngsters. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
we've got that on our side,
But he's a very good artist as well, so he's a very creative man as well, isn't he?
He's an incredibly creative man, incredibly creative man. He turned his hand to pretty much anything he put his mind to, which is what you need with anything that you're creating, I know that if you dragged him off to do anything creative, not just music, anything, he'd be putting 100% into it, he'd have some really good ideas on how to do it and think it through and come on, let's get it done, and which is what you need,
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Having people, especially in music and in bands, that you know that have your back and you can depend on, is like the holy grail of everything when it comes to music. Having to sort of sit there and just be annoyed by someone not pulling their weight or not doing what they're supposed to do, or it's just the drag that nobody wants or needs. I always found.
Yeah, well, that's the thing as well, though. We've got the because I've found out the past 4 or 5 years I may have all sorts of isms, which is good. So I've got loads of problems with concentrating on stuff, and my high executive function as I'm learning is just out the window, gone. So you've got to have someone you can trust to say, get it done. What are you doing? You're doing nothing. You're sitting there. You're doing nothing. And you've got to have someone you can trust to be able to tell you that, And I'm lucky. I've got that little fella.
Oh.
Yeah. No, but it's good though. It cuts out so much time and hassle.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been a few times where I've spat the dummy and walked out the room and been annoyed, and then come back in and gone, "Oh, you are entirely correct. Let's try that."
Damn you and your wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, totally. But if you've got that trust there, you can do that.
Yeah.
You can do that. It affords you that.
Absolutely. Oh, so
yeah.
I remember. Am I right in surmising from the early days of Mr. Clegg? Were you in the band Cleavage?
Yes.
You were, weren't you? That's where I first heard of you.
Yes.
Because I remember having a very interesting
college.
I remember having a very interesting chat with you outside. It was the Ollie Twist with a chap who was always kicking about, who was trying to create a band called Merlin. You'll know who I'm talking about. He was a short guy, quite tubby, long dark hair, hits his microphone. We were standing outside having chat, and I think you were talking about, it might have been the singer from Cleavage who really liked fighting people.
No, that was Damien Water. Bless him. He's done really well. He went off and made horror films, and now he's really good at horror. Now he's really good at horror special effects.
Amazing.
It's astonishing. His horror film was so gory they didn't allow it at Gorefest.
That's phenomenal.
That's an achievement.
Jesus Christ. So he, in the early days of Cleavage, he was the singer.
He wasn't the original singer.
Okay.
No, he wasn't the original singer. The original singer was a chap called Simon. He started off doing that. Then he went off and did other things. We all decided we were all 18 and very angsty and quite far up our own colons. Not maximum colon uppage, though. That happened much later on.
It's a kind of naive colon uppage, isn't it? It's we're still not quite aware of the world, so we're full of ourselves. It's only when you actually later become aware of the world, if you're still up there, then I think you've got a lot more to answer for.
Oh yeah, well it's like when you see bands playing and you see the snotty little kids turn up who are the biggest thing in the whole of their house, and you look at them and you think, oh, that was me. Oh, that was me. Oh God. And you kind of cringe and suck your head back into your shoulders.
Look, Sonny Jim, you're not going to change the world. You're not going to take the music industry by storm. Trust me, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, stop talking. Just stop talking. Don't do music. Do something else nice. Yeah. No, there was Simon. There was Nick Moore turned up. We had Paul Runtle playing drums. We had Chris Watts doing the rapping. Tom Marchant doing the bass playing. Yeah, and me. So there were 6 of us, all of us.
So was it?
Then Simon went. Damien came in.
Was it originals or was it covers? I can't.
All originals.
All originals. Because it was a very sort of funky orientated type thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, my plan was, if you don't tell anyone what to play, and you kind of have people from all these influences, again, so long if it's rubbish, say it's rubbish. But otherwise, if it's music, just let it go. Because the same because I used to do a lot of electronical music, and the same thing. If you've got something does that, then anything else that does that must then fit, even if it's only on one level. It might be out of key, it might be a totally different style, whatever, but it must fit. And once you've got one link in, then it can start smoothing over the other links, and then it would come out as a sort of funk. That's where you'd end up with it.
And I remember you guys you were sort of one of the more, I suppose, advanced, because I think about the same time. How old are you? I'm 40. Are you about the same?
21. 43 I am.
43, so a little bit older.
43.
Because I was part of all the grunge scene back in those days, and sort of the punk stuff. And I remember Cleavage sort of being on a bit of a higher level than we were, sort of like skill-wise, song-wise. There were a few bands around the local area who had that sort of slight one-upmanship to a lot of the others. And I remember you guys sort of being in that category, because you were doing sort of quite decent shows, weren't you? And compared to what a lot of the other bands were doing. Didn't you do like Castle in the Park and things like that? And
yeah, we did all that sort of stuff. But if I'm quite honest with you, I've never paid attention to that. Even now, I don't really pay attention to it. I mean, we've had a few offers of gigs that I know are big because everyone says they're big, but even now, it's just a bit of a gig, isn't it? You go in there, pretend you're at Wembley, pretend you're Slash on a mountain, give it the big ones, have the best time of your life, and you're off. That's the idea, you know. And I've always been like that. I've never really jumped into any of that. Not because I thought, hey, I'm keeping away from these guys, I'm not in that scene. Just never thought of it. I just get on, I just sit around for hours, I play guitar for hours, come up with a song, let's all play that, you know.
So how long were Cleavage going for?
I'm going to say 6 years.
And what did you do?
That might be a lie. I'm genuinely guessing.
So what did you do after Cleavage? Where did you move? Where did you move to? What was the reason for? Did the band just end, or was it a decision to leave?
Everyone started wanting to leave and go on to other things, and by that time we were all so firmly wedged up inside ourselves, being the biggest band in the whole of, well, the south part of Braintree.
Yeah.
Within about a 5 metre radius of wherever the car was parked. So we just stopped that. I think it just came to an end. We had a few get-togethers afterwards. The music is all, after doing loads of festivals, it's incredibly viable. It's incredibly, now we go down a storm, you know, you do really, really well playing it. No interest in it at all. None. So unexciting. It's just a feeling of been there, done that. Lovely doing it, but done it, you know.
You enjoy it though with Ghosts of Men now, surely.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Oh yeah, I do enjoy it. I become a little bit of a giddy kipper.
Oh,
bless me. Oh, yeah, I really enjoy it. I really, really enjoy it. I only ever do stuff that I like. Isn't that life's too short? Is
that the key though? Because I know I've found we did like sort of a couple of festival-y type things with my covers band, and I always find it's the fact that if you can go on stage with some people that you really love and you know you can have fun with, because I can imagine with Cleavage, if you had to have a certain persona and you've got to be serious, you've got to look the part, you've got to do this, that and the other, to me that it just completely removes any element of spontaneity, of fun, of just enjoying.
Well, to be honest with the cleavage thing, we only ever had one person telling us what to do and how to do it, and he soon gave up because we all just did our own thing completely.
Oh, cool.
But because we did our own thing, we're all really young at the time, so we're all growing. And of course, when you grow, to get 6 people in the same area to grow in a cohesive way where they would all grow in the same way to stay together. I mean, you think about it, that's impossible, you know. It's bound to happen. Come on. We'll start off at like 16 going through to like 20, 21. You're just becoming just turning into not a boy at that point, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No one is going to go in the same direction at that point.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So where did you go from? Sorry, carry on.
From there, I went and did a whole heap of electronic music, a whole heap of that, and really enjoyed that. My friend Will Druitt, who runs Bad Sector Records, he sells cactuses now, but he ran that record label. He's had a few really big releases of people that are now huge. But Big Face Will, I call him, because he's got a big face. I used to hang around with a couple of his mates before I met Will, and I got a computer one year just after my daughter was born, and I'd sit there playing with acid music.
Oh, blimey.
It's made by Sony. It's a long while ago anyway. My grandfather, who's dead, he gave me the disc for it. It was a demo of it, and I sat there and I made loads of music with it, and it just kept coming out and coming out and coming out and coming out. I thought, all right then, I see Will's doing these gigs. It can't be that difficult then, can it? So I just knocked a load together. I went to see a few shows and a few bits and pieces. The usual thing that I do, which is like if I read a book, just look at the first page. Someone said to me the other day, you summed it up really well. When you read a book, read the first page. The other 99 pages are just justifying what the first page said. So I'd go to a gig, I'd watch someone do it once and go, yep, got it, and go off and do all my own. And I really liked the antagonising the audience. Love that. Really antagonising the audience. Oh, it was brilliant. We had the big fight that nearly kicked off one night, because all the way through this gig, I had the noise. You know when you put a mobile phone down, it goes beep, 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 beep. Well, I sampled that and had that on a keyboard. I just kept going, and I'm like half hour into this set that's just playing proper mind-bending stuff. This is before everyone was into ketamine, so everyone was peeled out their faces on happy drugs. Yeah. I'm just making that a bit darker and a bit darker and a bit darker. Anyway, this lad turns around at one point and goes, could someone turn off that fucking phone? Rah! And just as he did that, I hit the button and it just played the Ghostbusters theme tune in bibby bips. And he just stood there, this poor boy, absolutely spangled, just oh. Yeah, it was just full of stuff like that, really. I saw this gig with Dan Clark. He's a beautiful man, Dan Clark. He's nuts, but he's a beautiful man. He invited us to play a gig my friend Will to play a gig in Ipswich. And there was this one lad who turned up, and he put on some white noise, and he put on brown noise, and these 2 generators, click and click. And he sat there for a bit, then he got up and went to the bar. And the people sitting in front of us were talking about it, going, yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I understand that. Yes, it's got brown noise on the left, white noise on the right. You can hear how they intermingle and yabbity, ba, 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 ba. The reason why I put it on, he had a cracking hangover. He just wanted to go to the bar. I thought, I can do that. I like that a lot. I like his attitude. So, yeah. That was a massive turning point.
What have you found with because obviously creating all these different sounds, all these different moods and everything, and like that's obviously brown noise, white noise, all these kind of things. Have you found sort of any almost like little inner secrets of things that you can do with sounds that will get certain reactions?
Yes. Oh yeah, that's my whole set for electronica. That's exactly what it was. Exactly what it was. So you have to judge the way the room has been. You can walk around and see the atmosphere of what's going on, get the gossip, what's going on, you know, who's in, who's out, you know. If it's a bit schmoody, if there's anyone on a downturn, if everyone's really high and in love and enjoying it, and if anyone's a bunch of scenesters, and you can adjust to that, you know. So there might, if I'm not in Colchester, everyone's being mega cool because they're all just cool, really cool, everything's cool, and they're here to be cool because it's cool music, because it's cool. It was one of the gigs that Fez did. For Love Records. Yeah. And we're there, and I had the tiniest little reputation at that point, and for big drops, breaks, mixing in music that doesn't fit together, that sort of thing. And I put on Morning Is Broken. It's quiet singing Morning Is Broken. And everyone's waiting for this drop. And it never happened. And 5 minutes later, the whole of this pub, to a man, was singing Morning Is Broken. And it's great. Oh. Just thought, I'm the winner. I thought it's not a competition, but I've won this. I've massively won this. You know?
I am the supreme overlord and master and commander of the universe at that point.
Or putting in extra beats into songs, so people are dancing, having a great time. Where it's doof 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 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 1 2, and just do it once. That's all you have to do, and you can watch it like a Mexican wave. People realising what's happened, and they're out, and they're trying desperately to get back in, and they overshoot it and come back, and overshoot and come back.
What is
really good fun with that.
What is your favourite moment? Like one of your, obviously, The Morning Has Broken is beautiful.
Morning Has
in
Broken
itself.
was beautiful.
But is
absolutely beautiful.
Have you ever trumped that? Has there been that one moment where you've just felt, I am a god at this moment?
I do that all the time, mate.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've got to that point in my life, I just do that continuously anyway. I'm a guitarist, a bass player, and a singer at the same time. That's 3 lots of ego crammed into one little box. I am pretty much God.
Apparently, we both look like brothers.
Of each other.
That's a very good point, actually. I am a brother as well. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's accurate. Oh, that's Julie. She smells things.
Does she?
I know this lady. Yeah. So.
As in what way?
Bless her. So we were all around this Volkswagen show. First time I ever met her, and her poor husband Howard. He's still alive, but I often give him a minute's silence just for what he has to deal with.
Is it long-suffering Howard, is it?
Oh, poor Howard. So, she's going to kill me. So,
I'm sure you're lovely, Julie.
We're all looking at these really, really nice Volkswagen cars. We're at the time, we're in a hand-built caravan, right? And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. She's not wrong. It's beautiful. We're all looking at it going, this is intricate. This is really well done. This is lovely. Isn't it good? And she's just turned around and gone, smells funny. I walked out. And that was the whole comment of this person's 10,000 hours of making this caravan. It's very funny.
To be honest, though, if I look at the amount of hours that's gone into making me, I've had women come and smell me and go, smells funny, and walks off. So I think it's just the way things are.
No, I think that's accurate. Why are people sniffing you, man? That's dot.
Chris,
you both have your clothes on. That's disappointing. That's a trigger word for me.
Yeah.
It's a trigger word.
Get naked time.
We're off to Ireland, and we're having a lovely time in Ireland. Fantastival. It's a beautiful festival. Everyone should go. It's stunning. And we were sitting around with this lovely lady whose name I'm not going to remember, which she's going to kill me for. Who plays the violin. She's brilliant. Kinston. Yes, Sophie Kinston plays the violin. Beautiful soundscapes anyway. And we were sitting there just chatting, me, Adam, and her, and the photographer came up, and he went, oh, hi, guys, yeah, it's great having a good time, but can you act more natural, please? We're just sitting chatting, so we are being pretty natural. And before he finished his sentence, all my clothes are off. I'm just there in my pants.
Oh, good
and I
boy.
got a photograph of the festival. I was very happy, very happy. I just can't help it. I cannot help it.
I'm the same. I've got me and my cousin is one of these absolutely fantastic human beings that you just feel privileged to be related to. And whenever we go on holiday, we both have to do like our naked selfie together. It's part of things. So there'll be us like standing majestically on mountains, you know, baps out to the wind, those kinds of
things. I've seen those.
Oh,
I've seen those. They're very inspiring.
It's inspiring. A beautiful thing. But I
love it. It's one of my major things that I feel that a lot of world peace could be sorted out just with a little bit of nudity.
100% agree.
In war zones and all sorts. Arguments, anything. If you just hang your little balls out, then try and have an argument with your balls hanging out, and the other person can't really argue back, then that gets rid of it.
Yeah.
So if you've got 2 teams shooting at each other, and you go, oh, hold on a minute, I see his balls. Straight away you stopped, and you're looking at his balls, going, that's odd. Should we stop? Is he okay? And then you don't have a fight anymore.
No, or especially I'd say if you're being reprimanded by a supervisor or something like that, or you're being a real grilling, if you did literally just strip off and just stand there completely butt naked, there's nothing you can do about that. That's it.
No.
The grilling is over. The puzzlement sort of sets in. But then,
what do you do if it's a proper emergency? If you've been caught doing something awful, like you've been eating metal, all the paper clips are gone. We're worried for your life. You know, can you stop doing it? You're obviously okay. Can you please stop eating the metal? And you just get up and you go, hold on a minute. You get completely naked. At that point, do they slide over the written warning to you, or do they go, look, Mike? What do you do in that point? What do you do?
Yeah, I do know a story, and apparently I was told this is true. A guy I know who used to work, I think it was in an abattoir or something like that, and he said that all the people there were just complete wrong-uns. And as you probably can imagine, he said it was almost like a carry-on film. People were having sex with everyone and all sorts of shit going on. But one guy...
In an abattoir?
Yeah, it was a very, very peculiar place. But at one point, a guy was... the main boss was sitting in his office sort of chatting to a client who'd come in, and one of the guys basically just stripped completely naked, ran in, dived onto his desk in a kind of... that sort of pose, laying across it, balls out, just saying, so do I get a raise? And his boss is just like, just fuck off. See, things...
I don't know that man is. I like him.
Yeah.
I like him.
Things
I would give him the raise.
Yeah, too right. That's a sort of brassiness pays off. Oh, by the way, I still have a penis shaved onto my chest.
All right.
So,
yeah. I haven't got enough hair to do that.
Mike Vonbeardingham would never, ever stop eating the metal. I know I look about as thin as a paperclip, so that probably is why.
Yeah, you do. Malnourished, malformed.
Malformed.
Is, the word I would use. Malformed, yeah.
If everyone in Parliament was Billy Bollocks, there would never be a war. I don't know, or they all just be wanking each other off, to be honest. They're all like private school taught, aren't they? So just bring back the glory
They'll
days.
probably double their wanking off for the sixth form. Just look for the lad with the big arm. Just go, right, he's the king wanker. He's the king wanker. He's done all the wanking. He must be good at it. He's a danger now. Rack! Oh, another one's come off. Bring me more peasants. Yeah. Bad times.
Where were we? Oh, we're naked. That's where we were. Right, so we've done electronic music, nakedness.
Yeah.
Where do we go from there?
Oh, we've made loads more new music and we keep making videos, and I've got this thing that I've seen on the internet a few times over now from people saying about how the album is dead and we should only release singles. And what is your thoughts on that?
Bollocks, really, if I'm honest. Thank you. Yeah, that's a balderdash and piffle. No, an album is a wonderful thing. I think singles are great, but you can't go on a journey in a single. An album, a well-constructed album, can take you here, there, and everywhere. A single, yeah, just nice and go, nice. Job done. That's my theory. What about yours?
That's fair. Well, we were looking at, because we keep making singles and get all the singles together in an album. Because we found at festivals, people want to buy an album more as a souvenir of their day out, if you like, rather than the music. Because they get home and go, it didn't sound like that when we were 3 sheets to the wind, 500 yards away, with our fingers in our ear and wearing a bobble hat. Why does it sound so different?
That's why we live for those crowds. We never like anyone to hear what we sound like sober.
I love the idea of albums taking people on journeys. Isn't that bad? I've never thought of that before. We just get a load of cool songs, bung together and go album.
I know that.
We say we'll do an album and get a bung of cool, get a load of cool songs. We do it the other way around. Yeah,
I thought because you must. Or do you organise your album in a specific order or is it literally we'll just throw them together? Because you must have some kind of system, surely, when you're organising.
We do have a system to put them all together. I leave that in Adam's hands massively because, again, he hears albums all day long, every day. It's quite funny. He says to me, so do you think song A should go first? Then we'll have song B and song C. And I say, yeah, that sounds really great. And so, well, I think song B, then song D should go next. I go, well, I think that sounds great as well. And every time it soon becomes apparent, I'm just like a really excited Labrador going, it all sounds brilliant.
This is brilliant. I love this. This is my new favourite thing.
Yeah, it's all shiny. So, yeah, he's the one that usually pops that together.
Oh, bless his heart. What would he do without him?
Go to sleep more, have a lot quieter band practices, more guitars. There'll be more guitars. a bando. Yeah, they would. Yeah.
Love to hear your voice, Clegg. We miss, but I'm off to listen to ABBA.
Well, they're not listening to you, Julie. So it's a one-way street there, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, there's no mutual transaction,
don't be
is there?
by them people. No.
That's a very good point.
With ABBA.
Are you kind of I was going to say, are you an audio slave? But that'd be a really, really shit pun.
We'd need an audio slave montage right there and then. The music would have to come up. Yeah.
Actually, it is an interesting point, or actually an interesting question when it comes to, as you say, when you said ABBA aren't listening to you, so it's a one-way street. What do you think of people's views of things like celebrity and famous people and this sort of idolising those people up there? What is your opinion of that?
I think it's fine to do that. I think it's good to have, if you've got a realistic view on it. The problem comes when people stop having a realistic view on it and get themselves into trouble. They don't see the difference between what we present. Like Kanye West is the latest one. Now, whatever you want to say about Kanye West, it doesn't really hold anything, because what you're actually saying is about what the papers say about Kanye West and what he said in their context.
Yeah, you're just feeding really, off of everything else that's going on.
Yeah, I've not been up the pub with a bloke. I can say what is presented to me, I could decide that he's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But hey, crack on. He's doing all right. Makes some lovely songs. Nice one, Kanye.
Yeah,
Kenny West. Love Kenny. Nice one, Kenny.
Not short of a few, Bob. Apparently running for president, I've heard, is... Well, he's got
why not, mate?
Good a chance as anybody these days.
Too right. I would do it, but I'm busy. So, covering shifts. But yes, I think it's all right to idolise people, but you've got to realise that they're just people. It just so happens their job that they're at is something very public. You know, that's part of it. I think people that go out to be a celebrity for the sake of celebrity, if you like, that's almost worrying. But then I see people like KSI, and the way he talks about it is very mature, actually. He stepped away from being famous or in the limelight because he'd had enough for a bit. He needed a break. But he knew that that's his career, that's what he's stepping into. I think the problem also arises when the press just start going after you for whatever reason. You can stay at home all week and do nothing, yet you'll see a story about how Bob Smith said that to Sting, and Sting's really angry, and it's in Bella. You think Sting didn't ring up Bella and say, "I'm falling out with me, mate." That's never happened. That has never happened, ever. If I ever got as famous as Sting, everything that happened in my life, I'd ring up Take a Break, and I'd tell them exclusively.
Oh, God,
everything. Never mind Hello, never mind GQ, never mind any of that. I'd ring Take a Break. They go, Trudy's left me.
Yeah.
Straight off.
So now we're back together. It's 16 hours of tantric sex now. So I'll give you a running tally of how many hours we're doing as we go. But yeah, why is that people really want to? As soon as you have a degree of celebrity, people idolise you, but then they really want to see you fall and tear you down. And they love.
I could tell you why, but it's quite boring why people do that.
I'm always interested in boring facts. That's how I live my life.
Right. Human beings generally are pack animals. We grow as pack animals. We're all trying to be the alpha, and if we can't be the alpha, we're all trying to not be the weakest one. So you find the strongest, most powerful thing around the place, and you attack it, and you be seen to attack it, then the rest of the pack on a subconscious level nowadays will go, he's tough, he's having a go at the biggest guy there or the biggest lady there, he's really going for it. And of course, if you attack a celebrity, you're not getting anything back because you're just saying words into the wind. It's just digital words, isn't it? It just evaporates. So what you're trying to do is say, I am someone, I'm not as weak as I think I am. That's what is going on.
That's a really good point, actually. That's really nicely summarised.
It's all pack animals, mate. If you watch a bit of David Attenborough, it'll explain the whole lot to you really easily. And you watch it, and even though I think of myself as an enlightened person because I've seen these things, I realise it, I still do all the same stuff as well, you know?
Yeah, but at least you're aware.
Part of me... Well, yeah, but part of me saying that I'm enlightened and I'm above this thing is also part of me as a human saying, I'm not weak. I'm above this. I'm not weak.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
that's why people have a go at celebrities, because they can feel powerful. Because they're not powerful, because people get shit on every day.
And it must be there's sort of a great feeling of inadequacy and sort of feeling that they're worlds apart, and there's jealousy involved, isn't there, of what these people have or what they perceive them to have, and all the other elements that go with it.
I don't think people realise that, though. It's not like you wake up one morning and go, oh, I'm jealous. You know, you've grown like that, so you don't actually realise that you've got all these feelings at all. You don't realise you've got any of it. Otherwise, when you do feel like you've got a reason like that, an action takes place.
Yeah.
You know, you go, I'm inadequate, I either better myself or I do something, you know. And I don't think people realise that, because if you're, this turned into such a serious hippie now. If you're fed,
it's because we're naked,
every
mate.
single, yeah. Oh,
You're getting nipple tapping.
Mr. T Moneybox. Look at that, Mr. T Moneybox.
Oh, look at that! All I've got.
Just to show you.
All I've got to offer is the bog standard boggling.
That's fine then. All right, that's back to a sensible level. Yeah, people don't realise they're getting kicked left, right, and centre all the time. We are told that we don't have enough, we haven't got the best thing, and we should have the best thing, and we're not good enough to get it. But if we get it, we'll be better than everyone else. Yeah. And you must be better than everyone else to prove you are not the weakest.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And people get drawn into it, and then you're stuck, absolutely stuck. And the problem is, if you step out of that, people look at you like a right weirdo, absolute weirdo, if you're not bothered about not having the latest things, or not having any sort of presence, or not being bothered about being up the ladder. The majority of people look at you and kind of go, oh, he's a weirdo, he's eccentric.
Do you think,
no, mate, he just doesn't give a shit?
I'm not sure if that's the case, though, because I think that only works depending on how you present yourself. If I found, if you present yourself in a way where it's a case of, well, you can all do that, I'm just not interested, then I find it's only if you're confident enough to stand alone like that, I think you get more accepted, because again, I suppose it's a show of strength, isn't it? You're not doing it from a weak standpoint and sort of, yes, I'm different, but I'm not really sort of comfortable with it, and I'm the outsider. You're like, I'm different and I don't give a fuck.
I agree with that, but you're a showman. There are people that aren't showmen, that just do the same job. They get up, they go to work from 9, they finish at 5, they come home. Who aren't showmen, who aren't the same as everyone else, and they get looked at as you're the weird one at work. So it's not weird, mate. He just reads a book at break time. that's all it is. He's just reading a book. He's just reading a book.
I don't think you have to be a showman, though. I think there can just be a level of self-acceptance. I think if you can just accept yourself as a human being and all your fallibilities, and just that there is all the ideals of other people in the world are just complete bollocks. Like, life has no definite meaning. You're born, you fill in the big gap, hopefully, with shit you like to do, and then you die. All the other things.
Allegedly you die. I've got a thing about that.
Okay.
Allegedly you die. You don't know if you're going to die at all. It's not been proven you're going to die until you do it. And until you do it, you don't know. So
very true.
You know.
But with that, everything about you, say all these ideals, are just complete constructs of society, of this. So
entirely, yeah.
None of it matters.
But a lot of people cannot understand why they have friends. People don't understand why people like them, and they're still doing stuff to improve themselves for other people, and they never look at the facts that sit in there in their skin. I'm lucky enough that I've been forced to do that. I know that I'm all right. If I wasn't all right, I wouldn't have friends.
Yeah.
All my friends are really cool people. Now, if all my friends who are really, really cool say that someone's okay, I go, oh, well, maybe that person's okay then, because they've got good judging character, because they're friends with me, and I'm all right. And I know I'm all right because I've got good. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And it goes round and round. But I'm lucky enough to know that. There's a lot of people who don't realise that. Who think they've got nothing. Who think they've got no one. Who think they're doing terribly. Think that, life is really, really awful. It's like, well, hold on a minute. You've got really good friends. You know how to express yourself. You're holding down a job. You're keeping your family done well. We're out at the weekend at a festival talking about this. So you're not, just stuck somewhere. Have a look at what you're actually doing. You're achieving a lot. You should give yourself a pat on the back and be a bit more smug. People aren't smug enough. That's what it is.
Yeah, people aren't smug enough, and people. I don't think, as you say, people don't look at the evidence of what is going on around them. Like if someone Simon, for example, my musical partner in crime on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Now, he doesn't think he's a very good-looking guy. I've got a bit of a crush on him, I have to admit. I think he's a fine-looking chap. And I know lots of women who fancy him. So even though if your deepest inner feeling about yourself is, I don't think I'm a very good-looking chap, if you look at the evidence around you, because obviously attractiveness and beauty is all very subjective, so therefore if you look around and say, well, these people seem to find me attractive, I can't be as bad as I think I am.
Yeah, unless they're all lying. I mean, they've all got together and they're all lying. Maybe that's what it is.
I'll tell you what, mate, I fucking blame Brexit. That's what I do.
I've had this whole Brexit. I've had this conversation. People who think they feel awful about themselves, especially about the way they look. My missus, and not just me saying it, is banging hot. She is a very attractive
I did
lady.
tell you this, didn't I? Do you remember when I came round your house ages ago? Your missus answered the door and I said to her, bloody hell, mate, you've done well.
Oh, totally and utterly. She finds me attractive. Now, I've seen me, and I'm not doing myself a disservice here, but unless you're into some weird, like, giant hobbits with tiny legs, big beards, and a massive beer gut, someone finds me attractive. Really, really attractive. More for her, fair enough. But someone does. And I often say to people, well, if someone like that can find me attractive, there's going to be someone for you that's going to find you attractive. They might be just as weird. I think she's on the stairs. I might get in trouble. No, I'm safe. Yeah, there's someone for everyone. You've just got to go out there and find it and not do yourself down so much.
Well, likewise. I mean, God, you look at me. I look like a sort of a Nosferatu crossed with a corpse that's been in the cupboard for a couple of weeks. So,
Do you know what I got called the other day?
What's that?
I got told it looked like a homeless bathroom. A homeless bathroom!
That is beautiful. That's on a whole new level.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
That wasn't it, a homeless bathroom.
Yeah, I'm a very odd-looking chap. And I have to say I've done extremely well for myself. So with my current girlfriend, with, previous partners I've done pretty well. So there's women out there who like weird-looking guys like us. Yeah,
there are. One of them just turned a light on, so that's nice.
So thank you, ladies with weird tastes.
Honestly, that's the thing, though. Then you think about it a bit more and a bit more. And you think, it's almost like something you'd find on a Japanese website. I've seen me with nothing on. Do you know what I mean? That's a very precise Google search.
Yeah.
You've got to really narrow it down there.
Yeah.
It's not luck you found that.
No, I'm like a Ming the Merciless who's been thrown into the third world. That's kind of how I roll.
I agree.
Yeah, that's fine. As I was saying to a friend of mine, I said, look, if you can admit defeat about yourself from a very early age, then everything is fine. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
See, like I say, I've always been like a guitarist or a singer, so I'm quite happy living in my bubble. I'm fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy to tell myself I'm fantastic. If people don't agree with me, that's fine. They can buy merch off my band instead. That's fine by me.
Yeah, but to be honest, that's the joy of being a musician. Being a musician has helped odd-looking people like us get girlfriends since the beginning of time.
One of my favourite things that I enjoy at gigs is sometimes there'll be a lady, and she'll take a turn to you, and she'll be like, "Oh, I like you," and she'll start at the back of the hall, and she'll walk forward, and she'll get sort of near the front, and then realise, oh, he was much nicer from 500 yards away, and then she'll saunter back again. I think, never come close to the stage. Don't ruin your dreams there, love, honestly.
No. We all look much better from a distance.
Much better from a distance.
I always find it depends on the degree of alcohol that's been involved. So there's one hilarious one. I can't. Generally, my clientele are kind of, say, for the exception of my girlfriend, who is just a little bit younger than me. Generally, I find kind of ladies of a sort of middle age tend to take a shine to me for some reason. So for what reason, I have no idea. But one woman who was severely tanked up came over and took a shine to me at the end of a gig, and she tried to do, I'm sure she was absolutely lovely, but she tried to do a kind of real drunken eye flirt, and it ended up looking like this. She sort of turned to me and went, so I was just sort of,
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it was just like a perpetual motion machine all over her face. There was so much kinetic energy going on. It was fantastic. So
I've been in a few weird. I was in Debden packing up for a function band. This lady must have been way past her 80s. It was about 3 a.m. Made me a cup of tea. She had a gold dress on. She had gold skin. She was completely gold, like KFC.
Oh, wow.
And she made the tea and she came back and she said, I wouldn't mind if you asked me for sex, you know. And the only thing I could do, being a roughy, tufty bloke, was, oh, thank you. And I shot off, rang Sonia straight away. What do I do? What do I do? What's happening? Yeah, she was no help. Absolutely no help at all. But yeah, what? The lady who tried to, I was dressed in a we were doing some art. Me and my friend Luke, we were doing an auction. That's weird. I met Adam a year before I met Adam. That's odd. I'm in a photograph with him a year before I met him. So we're doing an art auction in Colchester, and we were the auctioneers. So I'm wearing a butcher's coat, covered in blood, and dead in hot pants, and I've got a meat cleaver because auctioneers.
I remember seeing the photo shoot.
And yeah, and afterwards, oh no, it wasn't a photo shoot.
Oh,
this
no.
was an actual auction.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, it was like a thing with public in there and all sorts. 15 Queen Street. They didn't really ask for that, but that's what they got. So we're in there, and this lady afterwards, a bit tipsy, just keeps trying to chat me up. She goes, oh, I think you're ever so good, ever so this, ever so that. I just let my meat cleaver on her chest and just slowly pushed her away, just explaining to her, I'm not like this in real life, you know. This is an act. You know, the thing you're finding attractive now isn't a real thing. And you've got to question yourself if you're finding this attractive. That's the question raiser there, love. And I promptly ran off.
I have a story very similar. When we were doing one of our Queen gigs, someone came up to one of the band members. First of all, asked if I was single. And then she asked, is he actually gay or a really good actor? That is
Fair point, actually.
That is the best compliment I have ever had in my life.
That's a good compliment. That's very good. That's very good.
So the fact that I might be gay was the appeal. So I was a gay, bald Freddie Mercury. Well, yeah, just a bald Freddie Mercury then. So
sure. Does she believe that she could just turn a gay person because she has that magic thing? Great one. Brilliant. I would have sat her down and talked to her. Excuse me, actually.
Yeah. No, love. Let me explain. You know how you feel about willies? Well, I presume you feel about willies. I feel the same way too. Oh, we have a
cash. I'll feel about anything.
Chris just said very serious, thoughtful stuff, but serious though. Talk about bums and that. There you go. Gays, bums, willies. Love it. Excellent. Crack on.
That's worked out well.
Yeah.
Thanks, Clegg. No worries. Yeah.
Julia said, what inspired you to learn to play an instrument?
I wasn't allowed a drum kit, so they bought me guitar. My parents did. A Vantage guitar and a little amp, and that's why I had that instrument. But I was already making music on anything and everything. Everything was like a percussive instrument or twanging strings or whatever. The thing that I was missing was making it cohesive and being able to record it in a multi-track way. I remember, again, me and my friend Dan McGlashan sitting down with 2 or 3 tape recorders, must have been about 6 or 7, and we didn't know it at the time, trying to multi-track this song. I can still remember this song. I'm playing the snare drum and but we didn't know it was multi-tracking at the time. So, yeah, it's just music. Music makes you play instruments. It just makes you get whatever's around you and off you go.
How percussive is your belly? Mine's kind
I
of
can make noises with mine.
Go on then.
There's a good noise.
Oh, hang on. I don't know if I can... Yeah, mine hasn't got that kind of... Mine's just got no tone to it.
Yeah, well, mine's got more of a voluptuous shape.
Yeah, so yours is like one of those...
You need to put your hand over the belly button. Right, hold on. Can we do this without getting in trouble from anyone? Hold on. Right, there we are. Belly button. Belly button.
Okay.
That's the noise.
That is a beautiful... Yeah, mine's just dead, like me. It's just got there's nothing to it.
It's more pasties, because you're made of straw.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what it is. You're made of straw.
Just... And I snap.
Don't do it too hard.
No. I'll just put my hand straight through myself and out my spine.
It's £250 for Mike in Essex. He managed to smash his spine through. Let's all laugh. Yeah.
Dude, that's been an hour already. And in that hour, we have covered so many topics. We've gotten naked. I think we've done pretty damn well.
Done very well. Done very well. I would have actually been quite upset if some clothes hadn't come off.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the... that was on the agenda.
I'd have been left with some sort of existential dread. So why? Still got all our clothes on. Why's that happened? Why's that occurring? I don't know what that is. I don't know how we are that.
No, all I can feel is tension. Just let it go, guys.
I'd gone outside, just started screaming "Broken Britain" till someone took me away. Broken Britain! Broken Britain! Broken Britain!
Don't wear a mask, but clap your NHS.
Love the NHS.
Yes.
They're all weird. I'm going out with a nurse, right? And everyone's clapping the NHS, and I think it's beautiful to clap the NHS. Give as much support as you can. They do a beautiful, beautiful job. However, at some point, these crazy, crazy ladies decide, I want a career where I can see bones, I can see guts, I want gurgling, I want choking, I want all sorts of fluid everywhere, and if you can as well, chuck in the odd mad nan to swear at me at all hours of the morning. They've chosen that.
But there is the perk, going back to the bum point, of men coming into A&E with various objects and household goodies stuck up their rectum. So there are the humorous elements as well.
I cannot comment. I can't comment because I've already said that my other half's a nurse. She's never told me anything about it, and if she had done, I definitely couldn't tell anyone. So I can't, because I haven't heard anything. So
damn.
Yep. But no, I can't say anything because I don't know anything, so I can't say.
No,
anything,
you don't.
So, yeah.
Absolutely understood, mate.
Yeah.
Maybe it goes on, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's
I'll tell you now, Mike. It's not understood. There's nothing about it you understand. There's nothing understandable about it at all. That's all I'm saying. Not that I've heard anything. So the thing I haven't heard, because I haven't heard anything, because no one said anything, there's nothing to understand about it.
Haven't you ever?
Because it's not understandable.
Have you never seen The Appeal? I know I told a big story about me and a vibrator up my bum a while ago, but
The problem I've grown up in a medical household, and my mum used to have these books from very tiny, but not modern books, nursing books, which are lovely. You can look at those and learn things. Where if you were a nurse from the 60s, you just have these tomes of pictures of horrifying things you never, ever want to happen. Again, you're told not to touch them, don't look in the book. So immediately you do for the disgusting pictures.
Yep.
You spend years, don't go near anything, never touch anything. Never leave your house, but don't stay in either. Everything's horrific. Everything is horrific.
And at no point ever can you accidentally fall on the carriage clock. Arse first.
Well, there must be someone, right, who has fallen on the carriage clock arse first, who really did do it by accident. No one believes them. That's got to be the kicker.
I do know there was a band called, is it Medulla Knocked, back like years ago.
Medulla Knocked. Yeah.
They had like a really big drummer, and apparently this is a urban legend, but I reckon it could be true. His drum seat broke, and he literally went straight down onto the.
We know about Marilyn Manson and the microphone stand.
No, I don't know that one.
On stage, got told off for getting the microphone stand and whacking it up himself.
Right.
Which is fine till you think about what the top of a microphone stand looks like.
Yeah, exactly. That's not.
It's you.
That's not going to be a clean extraction, is it? Let's be honest.
You can't do once you've started as well. You can't stop. You're in front of a lot of people. You've got to just.
You're committed. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a showman. You've got to make it work.
You know, like when you get the hanky and the egg, and you put the hanky in the egg. That trick.
Oh yeah.
I imagine it's like that, but with your own skin. So eventually, your kind of pelvis will turn in. And your legs will go in and your back will a bit, and you're stuck with the microphone up your bum going, yeah, I'm cool. Beautiful people. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you never, again, as we were preparing for this, and it was a bit of a clusterfuck as I was trying to get everything together, that's going to be the scene, but a whole lot worse after the show. So yeah, you're a rock star with a microphone stand up your ass for that moment. Next half hour, you're an A&E, screaming, crying, praying to a god that you've been slagging off for the past hour during your set.
I know I've been having a go at you, but please, just once. Just once.
I won't clench.
Sorry, mate.
Or anything.
I didn't help my own son when he was going to get nailed to a cross. You don't think I'm helping you with a microphone stand up your ass? Fuck off. Yeah. There's daddy issues for you.
Isn't it just? Dude, It has been an absolute joy and pleasure to have you on.
It's lovely to talk to you, Mike.
Yes,
it's
been so long since I've seen you, and you are just as much fun as you always are. So
thank you very much. And you are very nice. You are distinctly above average.
I'm that one notch above grindingly mediocre.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Well, thank you very much for joining me. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. It was lovely to have you with us. And especially
thank you very much.
Mr. Chris Saunders, who we go way back. My first ever.
I have to work with Chris.
My first ever band, and also my first ever gay kiss on stage. So I know, how sweet. Or was that a little bit in my heart? A little bit in my heart and a little bit in my pants too.
That's probably you having a stroke.
Well, why not? Sitting here in the nude. Be rude not to. On that note.
You know, that's what everyone's thinking now. I'm gonna have to immediately go on Facebook and go, look, I put my clothes on. I'm not sitting behind thrashing one out. Jesus, yeah. I'm not doing that. I've left now. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you later, dude. Thanks very much.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Just got to remember how to turn this thing off now. There we go.